video is on completing the monthly budget project, and you're going to be given some qualifications and some information about yourself, and you'll be on a team of 3 people. One of you will be a high school diploma person. You've graduated with a high school diploma. One of you has completed either a 2-year community college or technical degree, and then one of you has either 4 or more years of college experience. And you'll look at and compare each other's lifestyles and make some determinations, and you will present the information that you find in this budget and in this project to your class, but you'll be pretending like they're high school juniors and you're making recommendations on what they should do with their education. So your teacher will let you know when this is due. It's pretty extensive. You need to keep up with it and do what you're supposed to do each day. It is a test grade, and your presentation is a quiz grade, and you'll have daily grades based on your participation. You will be using a calculator for this project. This is my qualification card that I'll be working through the whole program with. I'm 20 years old, 2 years community college, an administrative assistant, which is like a secretary. My salary is $2,600 per month. My car down payment is $6,000. I'm married. I have 1 child. I have 1 cat, 1 dog, and my other income is I make $200 per month selling stuff on eBay. So that information from that card starts on this page with the salary per month. So that's at $2,600 per month and $200 extra income. And if I add those together, I get $2,800, and that's my monthly income. Now I'm going to take this monthly income and I'm going to break it down into per week, per hour, and per year. So let's start with monthly. So that's $2,600. And I divide it by 4 to find out weekly. And that's $650 weekly. And then to get hourly, I divide that by 40. Because most people work 40 hours per week. So that is $16.25 per hour. And then to find out my salary per year, if I make monthly $2,600, then I multiply that times 12, and I get $31,200. Now to find out my taxes, I've got to take taxes out of this monthly income. That's real important. So I can't continue without taking out taxes. So I take $2,800 and multiply by 0.1, because that's 10% as a decimal, and I get 280, and I have to take that from the monthly income. So I take 2,800 minus 280, and that equals 2,520. And this number is going to be very important because everything's going to be based off that. So this will go on page 3 and on page 7. It'll go on your projected budget and your actual monthly budget. So for the projected monthly budget, this is the guidelines that are given over here, and you go by these to help you fill this out. So my first one is rent. And like I said, I have to write my number amount up here, $2,520. And my rent, the guideline is that 25% of your income should go towards your rent. And to keep this project basic, we're just going to look at apartments. We're not going to look at houses. So we have to find 25%. So that's 0.25 times this amount. And that's 630. So 25%, and I did 0.25 to multiply it, and so that is 630. So I'm going to look for an apartment around $630. It may be a little bit below, it may be a little bit up. Transportation. it says 8% to 10%. So I'm going to do about 8% instead of keep putting in numbers into the calculator, but I will tell you this one. 8% is 0.08. That's 8%. And times 2520 equals, so $201.60. So I'm going to round that to 202. So I'm going to put 202, and that is 8%. Okay? And so I can spend, my monthly payment for a car can be about $202. And then food, what I have to do is look at my qualification card and count up how much food I have to buy for my family. Well, I'm married, so that's $100 per week. I have one child, that's $20 per week. And I can't remember how many pets I have. I have 2 pets. So that is a total of 100 plus 20 plus 10 per week. So it's 130 per week. And then I go to my calculator, 130 per week times 4 weeks. And that's $520. And to find out what percentage that is of my monthly budget, I take that amount and divide by my monthly budget, 2520. And I get, it looks like I get 21%. Okay? And then it says clothing. And it says roughly 10 to 15%. So I'm going to say 10%, and 10% is $252. And then furniture, my card says I own furniture, so I don't have to rent furniture, so I'm not going to have a monthly cost to rent furniture. If you need furniture, you have to rent it for $150 a month. Phone, I'm going to have 2 phones because me and my spouse are both going to have a phone. That's $50 a phone. And so that's 100. And so I say 100 divided by 2520 equals 4%. See, it's 2 places over, 3.9%, which would round to 4%. 4%. And then car insurance, there's a male and a female in my family, so my car insurance would be $215. And to find out the percent that is, I would go 215 divided by 2520 equals, and that rounds to 9%. And then gas would be, it says $105 per month. So 105, and that's going to be about what the phone is, so that's 4%. And so you have this part of the page filled out. I have to go to the rest of the page. And medical and dental, it's married plus children is $215. So that's $215, and 215 divided by 2520 equals 9%. And then I have to do, I can't decide on gym and beauty and cable and other things from my qualifications card. Well, if there's anything else on your qualifications card, you need to put it here if it doesn't fit in another category. I need to find out what percent I can spend on this by finding all the other percents. So I'm going to wait on that. It says loans and credit cards, 5%. So I have to find that first. So I take 2520 times 0.05 equals 126. Okay, and then I've got savings, charity, recreation, all of those things. I have to find out what percentages I can afford to go in there. To do that, I have to take 100%, which that's all that I have, and subtract out the percentages that I have. I'm going to do that, then come back. Okay, so all of this so far adds up to 95%. So I don't have a lot left to cover other savings, church or charity, and recreation. And so I'm going to say that 2% of my 5 is going to go here, and 1%, and 1%, and 1%. That's 5%. So I need to find out what those are. So this is $25, $25, $25, and $50. And then I'm going to add all these up, and it should come to close, because we rounded, to 25. So I added up all these numbers all together, and I got $22,490. So that is only $30 difference for my budget. So $30, I mean, that's easy to spend in a month if you buy a couple of Starbucks or run through McDonald's drive-through. So that's probably a buffer that I can take. And so that equals $24.90. And that's because of rounding errors because of this. But I mean, this is really close, and that's what you want it to be. So now that we have our monthly budget, we get to look for an apartment. And you're going to use apartment guides, and you have to take the information. I make $25.20 a month times 25%. So that is $25.20 times 25% as a decimal is 0.25. And that equals $630. So my rent budget is $630. Then I'm going to go and find an apartment, and I need to make sure that it includes the prices for how much space I need. So this apartment, since I need a 2-bedroom, since I'm married and have a kid, I wouldn't be able to afford. It's $874, so I needed to look for a less expensive apartment. But whenever I found that apartment, I would put it in and glue down the ad. And I do not need furniture rental, and my actual rent that I got was $700. So a little bit over my budget. So I'm going to have to cut somewhere, and I know that going in, but I couldn't find an apartment 2-bedroom for under $700. So maybe you can, but that's the amount that it goes. And then the next thing I'm going to do is to find transportation. And I'm going to figure out how much I can pay monthly, or if I have my monthly budgeted amount, how much car can I buy and make those monthly payments. So to calculate the purchase price, I need to take 8% of my monthly amount. So my monthly amount is $25.20 times 0.08. That equals $201.60. So I'm just going to call that 202. Okay? So I take that price, 202, and I multiply times 60 months, because I'm going to pay this car off for 60 months. And so that gives me $12,096. And then my down payment is money that I can put, that I've saved up, that I can put towards the purchase of my car, that I won't have to pay monthly for that. So my down payment is $6,000. So my car, my purchase price for my car is $18,096. So that's the car that I'm looking for. It has to fall in this budget. Now I probably, since I'm spending a little bit more on my apartment, I need to spend a little less on my car. So my real budget's probably below this. And like this car here is $38,499. I can't even get close to that. So I have to look for a different car, put the ad down here. Now, if I find out I just can't afford a car, I can, because I have that 2-year degree and I'm making okay money. But if you find that you just can't afford a car, you get to save on insurance, you get to save on gas, and you get to save on a car payment. So that's a lot of money that adds up, that if you're finding it hard to balance your budget, you may have to take the bus for $35. Now we're going to look at clothing. And for clothing, you have to figure out your monthly budget. And we're going to take for each member that you're going to buy, a member of the family, you're going to buy a pair of jeans or slacks, a pair of shoes, a t-shirt or shirt, socks, and a coat or hoodie. Now you may not get that every month, you yourself, but overall, whenever you look at the year, you know, you may go shopping every couple of months and buy up what you need. So this is going to be per month about what it would cost. And you have to do this, you have to select this for each family member. So I'm going to do it, I did it on my own, and what I found is I picked out for me, I picked out the cheaper stuff. And for my husband, I picked out the medium and cheaper stuff. And then for my kid, I tried to buy my kid the best and what they want, which is the Abercrombie, the Nike, the Aeropostale, the Macy's, all of American Eagle. That's what my kid wants. But I couldn't afford it. And now I'm thinking, well, I'm really 20, so my kid's probably a baby. So I'm going to go with the cheapest for my kid also. So you would fill this in, and I'm going to go Walmart and shoes, generic, and shirt, Ross, and socks, Hanes, and coat or hoodie, Ross. And so these prices are $15 for the jeans, $25 for the shoes, $10 for the shirt, socks are going to be $5, and a coat or hoodie from Ross, I'm going to go with the hoodie from Target for $20. And so I'm going to add this up. $15 plus $25 plus $10 plus $5 plus $20. And that's $75. Oops. $75. And I'm going to divide cheap for my whole family. So 75 times 3 equals $225. I'm going to put that is now my actual monthly expense. I'm going to put $225 for my actual clothes. And for my rent, it was $700. And I'll figure out transportation in a minute. For food, it was $520. Furniture I didn't have. Phone was $100. Car insurance was $215. Gas was $105. Medical dental was $215. And now remember that these numbers are already done. So I can just look back to my previous work to see what my answers were. These are set. These are set things. The 105 is set. And now the clothing, I have to figure out the new 225 divided by 2520 equals 9%. And I originally budgeted 10%. So I saved a little bit of money there. So that's good. And my food, 520 divided by 2520 is 21%. And my transportation, let's say I went under budget on my car. I need to. So let's say I bought a car for for 14,000. Then I would take 14,000 and subtract 6,000 down payment, and then divide by the 60 months, and I would get $133. So that's 133, and then I would divide 133 divided by 2520 equals 5%. So that was a big savings there. But my rent, 700 divided by 2520 is 28%. So that went up. And these are the things you need to be looking at as you go through your project. You know, you can look at the original, you can look at what went up, what went down. And now I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to calculate all my percentages and find out what I have left. Okay, so I found out I'm at 94%. So if percent is out of 100, I have these 4 categories that I have left to spend on. And I have 6% left. 100 minus 94 is 6%. So this is where it comes in. You determine what's important to you. Is it important to have a gym membership, to pay to get your hair done, your nails done, to have cable, to buy video games? That would all go in here. So you would want a bigger percentage here. Or maybe savings. Maybe it's real important to you to save because you have young kids, you want to save for their college, you want to save for your retirement. The savings would go there. Maybe it's real important to you to give money to charity, to give money to your church. Pull money out first. Maybe recreation is real important to you. Going to the movies, going to play video games, going on a trip. All of those things you have to budget for. So you have to decide where that 6% goes. And I can't tell you what's important to me isn't the same thing that's important to you. So you put that and just know whenever you're discussing it or answering your questions or thinking about it, that you're thinking about what's important to you and why you put the percentages in that you did. So I'm just going to put 2%. So I have 6, and I'm going to put 2%. That's 4. I'm going to put 1% and 1%. And then I'm going to figure out these percentages, and this is 25, and this is 25, and this is 50, and this is 50. And I'm going to add all these up and get my total and see how close I am to my budget. It should be really close just to change. Okay, so here I have written down the amounts. I have found out the percentages. And I have specified whether it's a necessity in or a luxury L. A necessity is something I absolutely have to live. A luxury is a nice to have. This is a have to have and then a nice to have. And I put nice to have next to transportation and clothing because, I would like to have a really expensive car and really expensive clothes, but I don't have to have that. I can have a lower price car and less expensive clothes. Phone, I could adjust that because I'm saying me and my husband would have a phone. Maybe only one of us would have a phone. Maybe we would carry it every other day. And then necessities are car insurance and gas if I have a car, and medical and dental insurance. I have to have that because without that, how would I meet if I had a medical emergency? And then other gym, beauty, cable, and other things from qualification card, I'm saying $50. It's not a lot. Not a lot to spend on those things that I would want to pick from, but that's really all I had left, because whenever I came down to it after putting the 5 in, I had 94% left, so I had to take 6% and spread it out. And this is what it looks like, and luxury, 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 luxury. So those are extras that, you know, I barely have any money to put in. And then I put that savings is a necessity, because if I don't save a little bit of money every month, I'm not going to be able to make those big purchases or have money later on. And so my total, whenever I did all the money up, it was $2,413, and you know that my total for my wages page was $2,520. So it's different because all of these are rounded. They're all rounded numbers. So the difference is $31. So in my presentation, I would say the difference is $31, and where I would spend that $31, where I would put that $31. Would I put extra money in recreation so I can have fun? Would I put extra money into my church and charity? Would I put extra money into my savings? So on this overall financial summary, I am job 2-year degree. So I'm going to put how much my housing was, how much my transportation was, how much my clothing was, and get a total. And then I'm going to work with my partners to find out the high school diploma person. I'm going to find out their housing, their transportation, their clothing, and what that total was. And then my 4-year degree person, the same thing, the housing, the transportation, the clothing, and the total. Then I'm going to take that information and I'm going to talk with them. So you need to have a conversation and talk with them, kind of walk through your budget and what was a luxury, what was a necessity, and how you spent your money, how you spent your extra percentages, and find out how they did theirs. And then you're going to answer these questions yourself. And so it says, total each column to see which job and education level allowed you the greater spending freedom and choice. Write which job you would prefer. Would you be satisfied with the standard of living? So say you decided a high school diploma is the way to go. Would that standard of living be satisfactory to you? Why or why not? And then what 2 things could you do differently to improve your standard of living? Give specific examples. This would be get more training, get more education. It might be spend less money on luxury items. Some of the things that you could do to get those percentages that you want to get. And then compare and contrast the benefits and costs of each educational choice. So, compare that for you to do a 4-year school, you may owe more in loans, or that you may miss out on making earnings for those years, and compare that. Give an example of one way this project has changed the way you think, and what were some of the problems you had throughout the project. Maybe changing the percentages, what to spend money on, how much to spend. Does taking this class have any impact on your future career choices? In what way? So that's the 6th grade math class. Does it affect you? Then this is how you will be graded on the monthly budget. Your job and salary is worth 10 points. Your projected monthly budget is worth 15, because that's a lot of numbers, a lot of percentages to make balanced. Housing is 10 points. Transportation is 10 points. This is that you found the ads, that you found something within your budget, that you've documented that. The actual monthly budget is 15 points. So this is where you take all those numbers that you actually got and figure out the percentages and make sure that you balance out where your money goes. And then the overall final summary, those are the questions that you answer and the discussion that you have. And then neatness, that you've done this in pencil, that you've kept all the information that you need, 5 points. And then your presentation is a quiz grade. And you'll have daily grades based on group observation checklists. So it'll make sure that you've been working, that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, that you're working with others when you're supposed to. And this is an extensive project. You need to pace yourself daily until the due date and use your class time wisely. And during your presentation, before your presentation, you will do create a pie or circle graph showing your actual budget. You'll go to this website, and it's the Create a Graph, and you'll choose pie, and you'll put in how many different categories you have. I believe there's 14. You'll label those, and you'll say what percentage, like 25%, 5%, 2%, 1%. You'll put those percentages down. It will automatically create a graph for you. You will title it, and you will put the source, you'll put your name. So during your presentation, your teacher will pull up your graph so that you can talk to how you spent your money and the way that it looks. And you'll need to sign that you understand this, that you watch this video, and that you understand what's involved in this project, and date it. And you'll put the due date there. So I hope this video is helpful, that you can watch and do the different parts and pull it all together for the project.